It's no exaggeration to say, these two titles will lead a new revolution in the EDC scene in 2024. Veteran players all know that no matter how fun the toy is, if you only have a single tactile feedback, you'll get bored after playing for a while. So some labels developed patchwork monsters. By adding different ways to play, you can extend the toy's vitality. But traditional sewn toys are generally just a small one. Components for different gameplay styles are combined together. Each playstyle requires a specific action. Change your playstyle and you'll need a different gripping posture. It's impossible to fully experience all the pleasures with just one movement, and it benefits from volume and structural limitations. Each stitching toy play is taken individually. You can't achieve the ultimate feel among similar types. So, is there a product that lasts without getting boring? A simple action can go all in on the thrill. Yes, all you need is a simple straight push to hold the position. Unchanged, the thumb doesn't even need to leave the main body. Just change your way of exerting power to get a different kind of exhilarating. Don't underestimate this. Your fingers never leave the toy. Only when the play movements are consistent can the brain continuously stimulate dopamine secretion. That's why I want to talk about these two works together. You can use the strategy of Tanchuang as a reference for my previous two videos. The selection suggestions have also been shared within the fan group. It has 3 stages of feedback for pushing up and retracting, no more, no less, just right. This method of only going up and not down. In fact, it better fits most players' habits of exerting power. The exterior continues the drama sequence, consistently a straightforward male style, although it lacks much of a sense of luxury, but every detail is completely functional. Not a single unnecessary design is needed. Although it's a rectangular shape, however, all edges and corners have been polished with curved surfaces. One standard is that you can't feel any sharpness anywhere your hand can touch. The 2 grooves on the front slider of the Singer, providing a larger force point, increases volume and weight. Smaller ones can also affect thumb placement. So the back of the toy is just right, with 4 softened turtle beads inlaid in. This helps avoid scratches when placed or picked up casually. At the same time, it adds a touch of agility to the previously rugged exterior. After opening it, you can see it. Inside the shell and on the middle plate, 5 magnets are embedded in single rows on both sides. Track placement helps smooth the line position and the main body bounce with cue. Note here, placing 5 beads per track is factory optimal. Setting up is not a matter of DIY if you feel the beads rubbing against each other. The hair color is rubbed down with lubricant paper, or switch to 2.778 POM beads. 2 cable mounts and a mid-sized notch are installed. It continues GUA's classic 1000 stratagem style. No matter how you push it, all of them can be completely unbreakable. And to be safe during disassembly, you must push the block forward a bit. Use your thumb to push upward to pry open the middle plate and the block, fixed with 2 screws. After unscrewing, you can see 3 magnets arranged in a single row of swords. Attract the back of these 3 magnets in the medium version, this line position stake. The size of the grooves is also perfectly balanced. It ensures that during the push, the magnetic lines of these 3 pairs of magnets are all within the range of attraction. The super bouncy feel also comes from this. Note that when installing, turn it off. Do not tighten these 2 screws too hard. To ensure that the middle board and the paddle are moving, screws and the middle plate do not rub against the color develop. Due to line position and impact, the internal line position piles are basically responsible for the work. So as long as these 2 screws are glued to the screws, there is absolutely no need to worry about deformation due to stress. In short, pop-up windows don't require modifications. The factory feels top-notch right from the start. Every innovation by GUA brings surprises to players. And with a starting price of $299, I can only say it's a total kill. Please put the industry's conscience on the public screen. Currently, the 3 pop-up materials have already been officially released. Just search for Matrix EDC on Taobao. Learn more about Tanchuang. You can follow the official account of Giant Town. If there's a flaw, it's the appearance. Not very popular with female players. Of course, if GUA were to focus on appearance. Definitely not at the current price. Next, let's talk about the flagship new console Spirit from Agent Studio. Personally, I was into Cyber Wind. Futuristic sci-fi style toys are completely unappealing. But the appearance of the watchtower in the previous game won me over instantly. Can be said that in this style field, the artistic skills of the owner Baisheng are simply overwhelming. The soul of this release is made of stainless steel. One is a primary color, the other is black. The surfaces are treated with a sense of weariness and practice. It looks like just a playful thing, although its shape looks quite rigid. However, the feel and force point of the lying position are very ergonomically advanced. The gameplay and sound quality also satisfy the needs of domestic military enthusiasts. Actually, make Bayu Bayu into a toy and a toy. Making Bayu Bayu is two completely different concepts. The former is based on appearance, constructing structures under the premise of skeuomorphism. The latter is based on the experience of playing. With the structure determined, it naturally matches the look. Let me emphasize again, no matter what it looks like, it is a legal and safe toy with no firing function at all. It's too dry. When you take a sip of water, check the structure and pay attention. Every step I am about to take must be studied with care, otherwise it will be very troublesome to disassemble and assemble yourself. The end is the section where the paracord is threaded. The other section is the top. Always remove only the 3 screws on the left cover plate. If you remove the V-shaped spring inside the right side, it's very likely to fly out directly, so don't remove the right side, don't take it apart, don't remove the right side, unscrew the screws on the right side. Remove the cover plate and hold the wire stakes and picks with your hand. Slowly remove the main body, and be sure to cover the tooth with your hand when removing it. Otherwise, the spring inside will fly out directly. Once opened, you can see 2 magnets embedded inside the main body and at each end of the sawtooth blade. It serves to secure the spring and to return it to each other. Let's continue dismantling. Remove the stripping and wire strips, then unscrew the screws on the right cover plate. After fully disassembling the heatsink, you can see all the components. Besides the beads, screw springs, and this wire stake, all other parts are CNC machined, so the cost seems quite high. Let's put it back in place. Installation. When using this long spring, first insert the end of the serrated tooth with screws into the main body. Then insert one end of the spring into the main body locking position. The other end is inserted into the serrated lock. Then slowly lowered the giant arrow. To emphasize here, it's not recommended to swing it forward for fun. This is because the long spring inside the main body is in a compressed state. Relying only on 2 pairs of magnets for fixation is somewhat weak. Normally, this direct push method is no problem. But when you swing forward for fun, when the main body exits the position, a downward force is applied. If you force hard and inertia, there's a chance you'll be thrown out. The spring is compressed and deformed. This affects the subsequent playback experience. Of course, there's no problem with playing with it backward. When assembling, first insert this cooling pipe. The reason for making it into a decorative piece is that it can be used for coloring and decoration. Enhances visual layering. 2. When holding the hand, this makes it more comfortable for your index finger to rest, since it is secured with screws, so there's no need to worry about your index finger pressing it in. This leads to friction with serrated parts. When installing the cover plate, be sure to install the one on the right first. The notch on one side of the paddle perfectly reserves space for the V-shaped spring. Connect them together with fiber cream. Put it into this round hole. Place the beads into the tracks. Press down with your hand. After picking the pick, place the main body above the tracks of the 2 side cover plates, for are embedded on each side. The magnet works with a single magnet on the main body. 3 sections can be realized, although it has a slightly bouncy feel, but this feedback is mild, since the core gameplay of MechSoul isn't magnetic segments. Its setting is more about resetting the subject, adding a transition between the ejection impact and mechanical feel. When we push forward, the reason we don't fall apart. This is entirely thanks to the alignment between the beads and the tracks, and also because the beads provide isolation. The main body and side covers can reduce friction. At the same time, beads on both sides lift the main body slightly in the air. Leave a certain amount of or between the main body and the floor. Even Butte Tevrin does not create any color from friction. The core gameplay impact comes from this one-way direct inverted emergency wheel structure. When we press backward, the wave plate and the giant arrow are stuck. The long spring inside is compressed and stored to keep moving forward. The waves are pushed downward by this small landslide. Gradually separates from the giant arrow. When the critical point for nuclear separation was reached, the giant arrow inside the main body struck backward. Turning back, the forward pushing plate is lifted by internal microsprings and collides with the giant arrow. Forms 5 mechanical feedback stages. Pushing further forward gives you 3 levels of magnetic feedback. This cycle repeats, with fingers receiving several completely different feedbacks. Repeated stimulation, balancing firmness and softness, fast or slow, long bending without feeling greasy. It truly makes it impossible to put down, and to avoid adding volume and weight, while ensuring foundation strength and structural stability. Each part can be said to have reached its dimensional limits. The exquisite design contrasts sharply with the rugged exterior. Can truly be called Zhang Fei's embroidery. At the beginning there was a play. Please type Neopai in the public chat. So for now, the console Soul has no room for optimization or necessary DIY features. Its appearance is just peak feel. Players are not advised to dismantle the dummy themselves. As for the downsides, the 150g weight of the machine sole is a bit heavy. Also, the downward pressure of the spring is quite strong. When a daughter presses for too long, your fingers might get a bit tired. Also, I don't like this logo patch either, although it contrasts with the overall look. But this shiny texture doesn't match the overall style at all. Hopefully, there will be improvements in the high-volume version. Additionally, about the Work Chicken Soul. If you want to watch a movie-level promotional blockbuster, please follow my neighbor Totoro. For an exclusive interview with the owner, please follow Dave. In short, both Pop-Up and Machine Soul are innovative crossover works. Pure original structure, diverse gameplay. The thrill of pointing to the bottom makes them unmatched in their respective price ranges. If your budget allows, I strongly recommend buying both. These are two works you simply can't miss. Finally, don't forget to follow and recommend with one click, triple comment, and recommend how to help you avoid wasting money. See you next time.